Okay.
What did you say? I said I don't want any damn
Music
vegetables.
off. This thing, that thing, these things, all good. All right, let's get into it. Alrighty, freaks and geeks, gals, pals, no, guys, gals, and non-binary pals. I want them all to rhyme, but they don't. We are back with a little bit of Bant Jolrael, which turned into 4-color Jolrael Zenith Flare. So we are playing a cycling-themed deck that is here to highlight Jolrael Mwonvuli Recluse. So this says, whenever you draw your second card each turn, create a 2/2 green cat creature token. She also has another ability that might be coming up later on in these games. So in order to make that as powerful as we can, we're playing this Bant Cycling Shell, which we splashed a little bit of red into for Zenith Flare. Now, one of the most questionable things about this deck is this mana base I put together, which is featuring 8 Triomes, all of which give us some red mana, which is pretty neat. We've got Censor and Neutralize to keep our opponents off balance. So if we run into some of these slower rolling control decks, then our plan is to stick any of these things and then use these tempo spells, of these counter spells plus Teferi, sort of fight our way through that. If we run into aggressive decks, we're hoping to use some combination of all of these things to get ourselves sort of in a position to make it to the mid game, where we can play Shark Typhoon or Zenith Flare for a huge shot of life game. One of the biggest questions we're going to hit really quickly is, should we be playing Uro in this deck? I would posit a guess that yes, we should. I don't know exactly what slots we're going to find the weakest. I think it might be worth just playing this deck as is. And seeing where we end up. Maybe I should just make a quick substitution. But we're not going to. We're going to play this Uro-less, and then I think we'll probably play it with Uro. No, I don't want to play without Uro. All right. Let's make a quick substitution. So we'll pull out this card, which is supposed to be good in long grindy games, and we're going to put in another card that's good in long grindy games. We'll take out the Castle Ardenvale, and we'll play in 2 Uro. So sometimes you just got to make last-minute swaps, and that's okay. It's because I own 2 Uros online, so we don't have to make any giant leaps or bounds. All right, so we're going to rock with this one and see how she goes. Brewed this up on stream from the core that was created by the one and only Shallow Grave Dave of the Faithless Brewing podcast. Let's see how she runs. So I took the core idea that he had and expanded it to 4 colors, which was a terrible idea. But here we go. Just got a sweet 4/1 with Jeskai Luca Fires. So we'll see how we can run with this one. All right, on the draw here against Darth Kid. Uro already popping up in our hand. Our hand is quite slow. We do go tap land, check land into Teferi, and we could cycle on. We could cycle this Scattered Grove. Scattered Grove on 2. We're gonna keep this. We don't know what we're up against, but if we're on against something very aggressive, we could be in trouble here. If this is Mono Green Devotion, this is going to be a problem matchup for us. We do have Aether Gust on the sideboard that'll hopefully buy us the time we need. This deck specifically, though, if it is Mono Green Devotion, this could be a problematic matchup for us. It's not. It's red-green aggro. Okay. Possibly red-green Possibility Storm, which would be funny against my Teferi, which can only flip into another Teferi. Okay, so let's go check land. We can melt their brain by playing our green check land. I think I will. So these two are untapped lands. This is a tap land. So we can go get up to 4 mana here without having to do anything silly. Oof. That's unexpected. Probably shouldn't be. Okay, that resolves. Goes for mana. Oh, that's terrifying. Is it Stomp? What? You don't want to donk me for 2? Okay. Well, I'm not going to fight you on that one. So what if I cycle this, play Uro ramp, and then do they know their top card somehow? They should not. There's no way that they should know that, no. And then, in theory, if they have a possibility storm, we cast our Teferi, Teferi cycles into Teferi, and then we lock them out of the ability to play spells. Yep. All right. Now, that said, they flip a Bone Crusher Giant, sure. They have 2 creatures, so if I plus Teferi, the new Teferi I'm about to have, I think they're just stuck. But they have the Chandra going up, so we need to deal with her. I think they're just going to have us on too tight of a squeeze because they were on the play. Oh. Yeah, this coming down on turn 3 was just such a hassle. Can't protect my Teferi. And I can't get an attack in on the Chandra now. So if they have any adventure spells in their hand, they're just going to win the game right now. They only have 1 card, but they could plus Chandra to... Alright. I think we gotta go play Teferi, plus it this turn, hope that we draw... something that gets us to a cast out. I do have multiple cyclers in my hand, so maybe. Okay, so our opponent currently can't cast spells, which is kind of funny. Sorry, from their hand. They did cast that Lovestruck Beast. I think I just have to find cast out. That's not a cast out. Draw it now? Oh, I can bounce the possibility storm, play a new Teferi, which will cycle into the other Teferi, but can't deal with the Chandra. Shit. The deck doesn't normally play this. Not that I'm, you know, but it just means that we can't do anything here. Maybe we Teferi bounce the possibility storm and we rip the cast out, which can exile the Chandra. Yeah. Nope. Maybe they get greedy with their Chandra for no good reason? Sure. Nope. Okay, we're just dead. Got it. Okay. You can't beat a Chandra emblem. It just is going to kill you way too fast. Does Boon target? No. No. Why? So I think Uro is not something we need here. Take a 1 Jolrael and 1 Valiant Rescuer. I'm assuming their win con involved Enter the Infinite. Oh, and you wanted to kill them with it? Yeah. Yeah. No, they win on that turn. Actually, they can't play Walking Bliss anymore, but they probably just play Hangerback Walker. Oh, we probably want the 4th Teferi, huh? Aether Gust and maybe Wilt. Wilt seems like it could be good here. Wilt over 1 Neutralize. 1, oh, and some of the boons. Yeah. What's their other artifact? I don't know. It could be Hangerback Walker. Could be Stonequill Serpent. Niv is apparently very popular right now, but I've played 15 matches this format and I haven't seen it, so I don't know. Ooh, mana. Yikes. Those are the cast outs we needed last game. I mean, yeah. What's their other artifact? Oh, they don't have another artifact. It's that it's a creature. No, they cast Enter the Infinite, they port Borborygmos Enraged back into their deck, then they cast a 0-mana artifact creature, and then they put the Borborygmos into play and kill you. Alright, well, play into their removal, I guess. It's not about it being an artifact. The fact that it's an artifact is irrelevant. It's a 0-mana creature, that's what matters. Son of a bitch. Alright. Let's draw white. White source. Off the top. Untap white source off the top. Bang. Would I prefer a cat? Yeah, probably. They could be casting Chandra this turn. Shit. Yeah, alright. White source. Son of a bitch. Alright. 24 land deck can't hit our 3rd land. On the plus side, we might get to see the power of a Jolrael this matchup. Okay. And the big boy? Sure. So I probably should have brought in my Baffling Ends here. I didn't, because I didn't want to compromise my, I don't know, proactive game plan. Only the Goblin. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, there's a land I needed last turn. Yeah, I think I have to pass the turn here. I think we're going to have problems against Llanowar Elf decks, just generally. Holy crap. You always forget that the Possibility Storm combo deck has such a good proactive game plan. It is beastly. So I think we're taking just 5 though, which is pretty okay. Keep picking off these goblins, which is kind of great. Good job, Jolrael. So if I play Teferi and bounce their human token, I get another cat. I also have the potential to draw land. And puts a pretty good place. I don't think I can just sit back. maybe bounce the Lovestruck Beast is okay. And then they have 1, 2, 3, 4 creatures, so they could kill my Teferi if they wanted to. I suppose I could play Teferi, bounce the human token. Then I have 3, they have 1, 2, 3, and then Elvish Mystic if they really want to get themselves wrecked on attacking. Feels okay. And then they don't necessarily have a way to do, yeah. We'll see. Okay, that's... We definitely wanted to draw land, so that is super helpful. Cat lady! Doing the cat lady thing. Let's just hope they don't have another glory bringer. They scooped? That's a big yikes. I don't know how that happened, but okay. Okay. Let's get these boons out for some baffling ends, I guess. And... for clarity, how many sideboard cards did I bring in here? It's not just the 6, right? Is there more? Oh, yeah, 9. Maybe their hand lined up poorly against Teferi static. Yeah, but it couldn't be that bad, right? Literally that turn, they could have swung with 4 creatures against my... Oh, 4 creatures. I had 3 cats. Never mind. And that actually would have eaten them alive. Never mind. I had a pretty good board set up against them. I wonder if I want my creatures back. Because Wilt... This is actually not going to work, right? Because I have too many other instants in my deck. But then, do I want Neutralize if I can? Let's cut 1 more Neutralize for Aether Gust, and I think this is better. So, just trying to learn the play patterns of my weird deck here. Okay. Problem with us being on the draw is that we have to, like, we're basically, we've built the deck to go tap land on 1 into potentially a 1-mana play on turn 2, or a 2-mana play, and we'll just see if it works out. I think Aether Gust and Baffling End together are a pretty good combination of things to have here, so let's see if they actually work out. Well, we have the colors, but this hand is very, very slow. They could just run us over before we get into anything, but... We might want Deafening Clarion in our sideboard for these kind of decks that are just going so aggressively wide. I think I'm going to keep this, and we go turn 1 Triome, turn 2 Triome, cycle, turn 3 Teferi, and hope that that's going to be good enough. They're going to have an elf, though, which is just super terrifying. Yeah. Yeah, we just not having any board wipes in our entire 75 is definitely a mistake. I think we might want some Settle the Wreckage or Deafening Clarion. Okay, that's way better than the Gravel Master, because bouncing that is actually something we can do reasonably. Or we could Aether Gust it. I don't have 2 untapped lands here, so if I play... Yeah, I think I'd rather play a tap land right now. Cycle, and then see where we end up. I just really need them not to have, like, Chandra immediately again. Oh, they can't. Good. Second Bone Crusher? Sure. Yeah, really wish we had some kind of sweeper or Settle the Wreckage or something similar. We're going to have double Aether Gust next turn, so that's not too bad. But looks like we're going to be a little behind the ball here. Oof. Okay, we may need more check lands in our mana base. He's back. Bone Crusher's ready. Are they bothering to kill? Yeah, of course they are. Okay. Untapped land is money. Okay. Bone Crusher is still terrifying, though. Rabble boy. So I think we're gusting both Bone Crushers and then taking 2, but we're also taking 4 from the triggers. So it might be all over, people. We don't have a prayer. Are you going to top them? Yeah, you top that one. Do you top this one? So we take 2. They put that one on top too. Okay. So cast out on Rabble Mastery means I go to 1 next turn. But oh, and then they just stop me. Yeah, just dead. All right. Aggressive deck just crushed us. The white removal that we drew up in our list was not good enough. I mean, we did have Baffling Ends in our deck that would have been really good on this hand, but we just didn't draw them. But 1 and 2. 1 and 2 on that one. Not too bad. A little rough around the edges. All right. Any specific thoughts about what the deck needs or misses? Yeah, board wipe of some variety. I think the best thing to do would probably be just to have that. And I think we want more check lands and less shocks because we have so many enters the battlefield tap lands with types. So I think if we play like 12 ETB tap lands with types, then we can play all the other lands as like checks. So like the 8 Triomes and then 4 of the filter lands and then... Shit, how do I get my... Fuck. Actually, this might be a really good matchup. Revitalize. Probably not that card, but maybe. Yeah. Well, we are playing Uro, right? But we might want one more. Show game log. There we go. Took my Valiant Rescuer. That's fair. So now they're going to know about the Censor from here on out. Basic Swamp means is probably black aggro. Because like one Triome covers all of the check lands, right? I think that's correct. We have 8 Triomes in the deck, so we're reasonably likely to have one in the opening hand. Cave Dan, is this you? Knowing about Censor isn't so bad for our deck. They'll play off curve. I agree. We're just going to hold it. Like, I don't need to cast it. I will cycle this. Oh, also, that ain't not bad. Because most of the haste cards that they're going to play are going to come in on turn 4, and by most of, I mean Prankle. Hey, look, it's the cat lady. So next turn we get to go Jolrael, cycle, and play a Triome. Be sick if we drew another Censor. Well, it's only sick when you cycle a Censor and draw another Censor, which we did not do. They're playing 8-rack. Ooh. Okay. Oh, I tapped wrong. We might take the drawing game too. I'm happy to cycle this Censor. Get a cat. Yeah. I think we just don't play a land this turn. I don't need to. Right? Just sit. We're good. Because currently their board can discard us twice, and we really don't want to start getting chunked. But we can just like cycle every turn and stay at card parity. What are their dudes called? Liliana's Steward. It's just tap, sacrifice, target player discards a card, played it only as a sorcery. It's really bad. Okay, they're gonna have Croxa, I guess. Nope. Oh, they're gonna have the 4-drop Liliana. Oh no, they have Prankle. Huh. That's funny. I joked about that, but I didn't actually think they'd have it. We have a cast out for that. So they can make me discard a card this turn, but they will also have to discard a card. Or they can attack my Teferi, and I really don't mind. If they make me discard, I'm discarding these two, and then we go land, cast out. I love the idea of them making me sack a creature when I have Jolrael. I guess we could go full holding pattern and just play Teferi and bounce that. And get another kitty. All right. Well, it's been a good game. It's been fun. Green, blue, green, blue. Yeah, this game's over. I don't actually have to play the land I get with this Uro. The green giant, the jolly green giant. He's a happy camper. Trigger. Cat lady. Na 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 cat gal. Cat gal. Cat gal. Batman. I mean cat gal. Maybe they have the new Liliana. The new Liliana can't even kill my Jolrael right now. Oh, if they sack both their stewards, they could. Really? You're willing to give up a sacrifice to kill one cat? You got it. Yeah, Valiant Rescuer is definitely not all that good in this game. All right, well, they killed my crazy cat lady. So that is less than great. But we have Uro. I think they're just trying to prune our board so they can force us to sack Uro after we escape it. Fair. Fair. If they're trying to win like that, I suppose that makes sense. But on our turn, we're just going to sit. Then we're going to cast out their Rankle. And then we'll escape Uro the turn after that. Each player sacks a creature. Yep. So you're definitely onto something with your idea. But if they don't have another creature, they make me sack Uro for their Rankle, which seems fine. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with my plan. They're down to 2 cards in hand. Like, this is big yikes for them. This functions against cycling cards, by the way. You technically discard it, so waste not will trigger. So we have to be very careful cycling from here on out. They have 0 cards in hand, so discarding a land here is fine. It will give them 2 black mana that they can't spend on anything. Oh, and I can actually exile Rankle before it hits me because there's no way that they're not gonna just choose to have both players discard when they have 0 cards in hand. So there's no reason not to do this. Cast out. Back into the darkness, my friend. All right. Bloop. I don't know. Cast the card you can never beat, I guess. Seems good. Blue, blue, green. Obviously, I don't mean they can't ever beat it. It's slightly awkward that we have to eat our cycling cards when we're playing Zenith Flare, but I think in this matchup, obviously, it's like fine. Let's put this into play. Oh no, I should have done the Ketria Triome because we could play the Shark Typhoon next turn. It's not a great Shark Typhoon deck, but it's okay. And I mean hardcast Shark Typhoon deck. They're 1 card off of getting towards their Kroxa. That will eventually get them there. Okay, so we can now play the Shark Typhoon. I don't think I actually want to, but so what if I bounce this? That seems good. Just to deny them the ability to put in their graveyard. Put that into play. Second main phase, play the Temple Garden. Taking a little midstream break to say hi. How's it going, Lambo? Need to beat the clock? Yeah, I think so. I don't think I'm worried about them beating me in any way. Thoughtseize. So they can get a creature, and then they'll have a 2/2. I can't stop you. Oh, they'll also be able to escape their Kroxa. First affiliate stream 3 subs. Well, that's because you're freaking amazing, dude. They went for the draw card. Interesting. They're going to play the Kroxa here. Pretty sure I discard Irrigated Farmland, even though it gives them the mana they need to play the Liliana Steward out of their hand. I don't really care. And then on our turn, we're going to play Valiant Rescuer, and cycle Shark Typhoon. Or I could just wait until their turn to cycle the Shark Typhoon. So we're going to have infinite blockers from here on. Also, Shrieking Inflection does 3 damage per turn, and we have an Uro. So they could train the Croxa from my Uro, and I really don't care. Oh, or... suppose I could just put them out of their misery here, huh? Yoink. Oh, I screwed up how I tapped. I tapped too much white. I thought these were the Jeskai Triome, but they are clearly not. But that's okay. Valiant Rescuer. Na 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 na. There we go. All right. Game 1 down. Teferi seems good. Gust is not good. And Wilt! Huh! Opponent is actually playing a whack of enchantments. Neat. Zenith Flare could eventually be good, but I think this kind of grindy game, it's not. Take out a Boon. Take out a... Neutralize, just because it's hard to cast. Oh. This card. Yeah, seems good. Alright. And then maybe take out second Neutralize. They're just so hard to cast. I mean, not for this deck. Maybe take a second Boon. Only time I miss Barrier Breach. I was actually considering Barrier Breach, but I was just like, no, Wilt is just like generally going to be better. Like, I can't imagine my opponent's playing 2 or 3 enchantments that I need to kill. Back in a second. All right. Well, that's pretty unkeepable, isn't it? Did they put me on the play though? They did. I think I might have to keep this though, just to not mulligan against the all discard deck. Yeah, because we're on 24 lands and we have cycling cards. So obviously this is like risky, but I think it's okay. I think. Shock. Pass. I'm Roy, and I approve this keep. I think it makes sense in the matchup, right? All right. All right. Flourishing Fox popping out of its hole. So for anyone who hasn't seen this card yet, I'm super, super excited to play this boy. Really excited about this card. I don't actually know if it's going to be any good, but... Fuck. We're already screwed. Shit. God, this is just so unbeatable for our deck, though. No, this is a problem. Although, we're drawing the aggro hand. Maybe we get there. It's probably just going to eat a push, but that means our Uro will be safer. Yeah, I guess so. We'll see. I mean, the value of Uro is that you just get to... draw a card when you cast it, and you get to turn your graveyard into a card draw resource, right? In this kind of matchup. Shit. Kinda needed that. Shrieking Affliction. Yikes. Blue source. Okay. So each of these cast downs that I cycle just straight up draws them a card. But I really want to hit the blue source now, so we'll do one. It sucks, but I think I have to. Blue source, blue source, blue source. Son of a bitch. Alright. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, wasting on it. This is busted in half against us. No. Because drawing one blue was not going to... Fuck off. Like, we're, like, completely screwed unless this is able to win, right? We had to cycle 3 castouts in through the early game, and that's something that we'd really want to have here. When a 24 land deck can't draw our lands. Yeah. But I don't have any blue mana, and I don't have an Uro yet, and there's only 2 Uros, so I don't know. I think the choice that I made was reasonable. Maybe it's not. On the plus side, this is a 2-mana 3/1, so that's kind of great. Like, I don't want to go with like confirmation bias. Like we've been continually missing our lands anyway, and like, but they may have done some weird thing where they boarded out like all of their removal. Jeez, come on, man! 24 lands. All right, come on. Yep. Gonna block the rescuer, right? Sure. All right, draw 2. What are the chances that they're going to draw a Fatal Push here and then just be able to push my Fox? No, we finally hit our land. So that's something. Pioneers stand still. Well, thank God we don't have a creature. Probably taking the Teferi, and then they get to draw 2 off their friggin' Thoughtseize. Yep. Literally the turn I finally drew a blue source. Oh well. In our deck with like, it's like 18 blue sources or something crazy. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's like 1 Temple Garden and 2 Sunpetal Grove. That said, this deck is kind of working. It's just Waste Not is the hard counter for us. And then the red-green mid-range deck was just a little too quick. Red-green Possibility Storm. But I think with Settle the Wreckage, we could be considerably better off. Vicious Rumor. Shit. Oh, I don't want to play your game. I don't know. I should have scooped the turn 2 Waste Not just to not put myself through this. This is incredibly, incredibly unenjoyable. I just hate losing card advantage. And like, I can't do my plan, and they're also doing their plan, which gets their thing going on. They're not gonna have us stack creatures, so yep. Now they get to draw 2. Can't cast that. I'm unimpressed with my deck's inability to draw the lands earlier. Fox is a 3/3. I guess we could try to push damage and kill them. 3, 4, 5, 6. Put them to 3. Or I could just cast the cast out, take out their Rankle. Or one of their Waste Nots. I don't think taking out their Waste Not at this point is worth doing. Pushing damage seems okay. Soda's holding on to Casso. What the hell? I guess that was if I went super wide with my creatures. I think our best bet is to attack for 4 here, have the cast out ready to go, and then potentially attack for 6 next turn. Which is like, obviously slightly sus, but we don't have inevitability. Thanks. Thank you. The fact that my opponent was drawing 2+, like, was drawing like 4 to 6 cards per turn right now, did not let me know that I was going to get buried. I think our best bet is just kill them before they can use their resource. I agree with you, but I think the best way to do that is not going all in on the turn where I won't kill them, but perhaps surprising them with the cast out. If you knew, what's the confusion? I was just trying to work my way to that point. I just had to work through all the steps to get there. I can't imagine they boarded out so much of their removal. This hits white creatures, right? Yeah. Wild. Like, I just don't understand how this hasn't died yet. Did I board out my... Yeah, I did. That's a shame. Maybe we need to bring those back in game 2. Shh, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, that's so rude. Oh my god. Well, that's irrelevant. The only thing that matters is if they can actually put a blocker down. Sure, whatever, man. They gained 1 life off of that, or whatever. Fuck off. Why did you take forever to do that? Maybe they just drew it off that last trigger. Sorry. It's just a super, super frustrating game. We have 3 copies of Wilt in our deck. We didn't draw any of them. We drew all 4 copies of our cast out in like the top like 10 cards of our library. So it's just super, super frustrating. All right. Let's bring back the Zenith Flares as a late game getcha maybe. Shark Typhoon is also probably okay. Yeah, I get that. I just don't want to scoop the entire matchup because they played turn 2 Waste Not, right? Like, that clearly is just like the hard counter for this deck, but it is Dave. I let him know that we're on the insanity here. We also drew 0 copies of Uro, Abandoned Sarcophagus, or Zenith Flare. But the Fox did good work. Maybe the Fox can do good work again. I hope I do not get Thoughtseize, but I probably will. You have to play turn 1 Fox, though. Turn 1 Fox, turn 2 Cycle. Tactical Retreat. Yeah. Let's go white-blue. We did draw a lot of our shock lands here, which I'm not super thrilled with, but there is a tactical card. Good to know. No push. Don't push. You don't have push. You have Thoughtseize. Son of a bitch. Okay. So I think I'm going to shock this and then just be ready to cycle. If they play turn 2 Waste Not, their clock was anemic. They drew their whole deck and barely killed us. I agree. I just couldn't find a Wilt. Couldn't find an Uro. Steward. Yep. They're playing this card. That's a big yikes. This card is not good. They didn't have the Waste Not, though. I have another creature. I didn't want to draw that this early, but okay. And their creature actually does blank my Valiant Rescuer's sort of A side. Where all the hits are. Don't Waste Not. Son of a bitch. Do I give them mana? Giving them mana will not give them enough cards to... or not give them enough mana to play Rankle. Could give them enough for another Waste Not. But if they have that, I think we have to live with it. Alright. Triome? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, that... Oh my god. I think I'm done with this match. It's just unwinnable. Our entire deck is completely crushed by this card. I mean, unless we top deck the Wilt. I think this is just impossible. I mean, that kind of buys us a turn. It's a good thing we play some good cards. Thank goodness. Ooh, shit, I could have played that. Click through. Wait, could I? No, I couldn't have. Also, we took the play. Why did I take the play? It's just a habit. Should have taken the draw. Oh well. Swift End. Okay. Okay, you jerk. Okay, maybe they miss sequence. Nope. Nope. Opponent is... You have to be able to play the Censor Waste Not. I mean, they could have been goofy and been like, Croxa, make your disc... Yeah, okay. That is so frustrating. Take 5. I don't know why I would censor cycle in response. Oh, to get the card draw? But what if they had played a 2-mana spell? Like another Waste Not or a Croxa? Well, I guess censoring Croxa is pretty bad. Well, not on this board. Okay, we're just looking for Uro at this point. The sooner we get Uro... If we get Uro soon, we could actually win this game. And us not having cards in our hand thoroughly reduces the ability for their Waste Not to generate any advantage. So they don't have a Croxa right now. They don't have a Shrieking Affliction. They don't have a Davriel Cane. They're remarkably close to dead. Yeah, kind of. I mean, you're doing work. Shit. Please make us each draw a card. Does another Flare kill him? No. Sarcophagus. Yeah. Sarcophagus. That's the reason I boarded it in. Next Zenith Flare would do 6. Yeah. Gotta hold that. Fuck, man. This is such crap. Am I supposed to like cycle this in response to the discard trigger to see if I can pick up like a cast out? But every time, like each time that I hit something that isn't good, we get. I guess I should be cycling aggressively to try to find my other Zenith Flare, even if it does fill up their hand. I should have done it on my turn, but we'll cycle in response to this. Let them draw a card. I'm pretty sure we're just supposed to cycle aggressively and try to find the other Zenith Flare, which does lend credence to the idea that maybe we should be playing more. Fucking drew that too late. All right, whatever. So I should have done that on my turn, sort of eaten the loss on this. We need to search for the stuff we need to win. Well, this gets to take down their Waste Not, which means I can cycle more freely now, assuming they don't have a second one. And also they're going to get to... Yeah, we do. We just did. You can see that they're going to have to discard a card now, and we don't have a card in our hand. So my play actually kind of worked out sick. That's fine. As long as you don't have another Waste Not, I don't care about anything that you do. I mean, that has lifelink, so maybe a little bit, but... Uro. I'll take that. We'll cycle when they hit us again. I was wondering if I should have kept cycling once I got like below 4 mana, because if I hit the Zenith Flare and then they attacked me, it would have been bad. But so which means I think I'm supposed to just. It's such a weird split here, because drawing an Uro, it doesn't matter if they make me discard, but drawing the last Zenith Flare, it does. Let's take the hit, see what modes they choose. It's discard, then draw, then sacrifice. They obviously won't choose sacrifice, but... Okay, they're going to have us draw afterwards, so I don't know. Cycle? Let's hit Uro right now. That's fine to discard. So if I hit Zenith Flare now, they go to 1. Oh no, it would kill them. Okay. So we're just going to try to find it on our turn. Or an Uro. Either one. Take 3. Yikes. We're at Virtual Death. There we go. Oh, I can't escape him this turn as well. But, I mean, unless I hit the land. Green Source. Oop. Although, that's pretty good. I think I'm dead anyway, though, aren't I? Yeah, I'm dead anyway. Because I'm going to take 6 and then take 3. Wait, hold on. Player has 1 or fewer, but they can rankle me. And just have us both discard, and then we're just dead. Shit. Really close one here. Against a deck that hard counters us, we got really close. God, that's frustrating. Well, I think the lesson is we might have wanted more Uros. Potentially not more Zenith Flares, but more Uros probably would not have gone badly. They have to choose the draw mode to kill us here, though. So let's see if they're clever enough to do that. Because otherwise we go to 1. You realize we're going to die on our upkeep, right? If they choose the draw mode. They did not. Okay. They choose the draw mode. Oh, yeah. Huh. I didn't think of that. That's true. I think we're just going to keep the sarcophagus. But maybe they have Thoughtseize or Croxa here? Nope. Okay. We go to 1. Huh. Okay. Maybe. Maybe. So we exile Zenith Flare for sure, but then everything else has cycling, right? So I have to reduce my upcoming Zenith Flare. Oh, the Hallowed Fountain doesn't. Okay. So my next Zenith Flare will do 9. That's probably enough. Draw me the hotness. We're done. We might have gotten there. Holy shit. They can make me sack my Uro and I can not care? No. Shit. Close. Very close. Man, it sucks to lose that one. Their deck is so bad. No offense to you, opponent. I'm sure your deck is fine. But it's just so brutal. That freaking Shrieking Affliction. And we drew the Zenith Flare. Oh well. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. On the 0-2 with the brew. Every other league's been a 2-0 to start with. But this has legs. This has legs. It's got some crooked bits. Yeah, Jolrael. Yeah, I just saw your message, Dave. Jolrael's it's okay. Picked up 2 games. Yeah. We've won games. We have won games. So far, the Zenith Flare has seemed pretty worth it. But I think the mana base, I could just clean it up to 8 Triomes, 4 Cycle Lands, and 12 Check Lands, or maybe even 11 Check Lands. Jolrael is not worth the splash. Right, but I want to play green for Uro anyway, so I think she's okay. And Uro and Jolrael play nice together anyway. Like, Jolrael's nice because on turn 3 you can play a 2-mana Jolrael and cycle something for 1 mana and immediately get a cat. Yeah, this hand is fine. Go tap land that taps for white, tap land, Fox, and then see where we go from there. Now that it's a new format, we'll check out the Amorous version. What is the Amorous version? A tune. Okay, maybe this is what's it called? Aetherworks Marvel. Azorius. Oh, Azorius. Okay. Got it. Yeah, I would guess this is Marvel. This is perfect because this must come into play tapped, so it doesn't look suspicious. Although if we attack and they block, actually I can go cycle, cycle, kill your Caryatid, so let's see what happens. Don't read my card. Alright. Fine, read my card. Whatever. I don't need you. So this might be the game where we can finally get to enact our tempo plan. This has to be Team or Marvel, right? What? Okay. This might be a problem. Oh no, guys, the Power Rangers showed up. They don't do anything? Oh, okay. Well, that's not so bad. I think we're going to be okay. Nice. Love that. Let's go. Let's go. What did you say? Take that back. Jeskai Ascendancy is the ones in Future King. I disagree. Are they playing Spell Pierce? They are not. Good. We've got Wilt in our sideboard, and our Fox is kind of going nuts. So this is it's kind of all right. We're doing stuff. We're going places. Rural Alabama. That sounds like a yikes. Okay, you got lots of energy. Your Aether Hub will never run out of juice. All right. Go, Fox, go! Mess them up. Yes, we're holding on to the Censor. It might be relevant. 6 mana. They gotta have dig through time by now, right? They have to have a dig. Okay. Cycling now is not really worth it. That's not the best draw. Okay. They do block. All right. It's a free block. I think we're going to cycle the Censor before we hit and see what we draw. So putting them slightly closer to death is really good. Okay, I'm not here to front on them. All right, shields down. If you got this, you got this. Flare does 3, Flare does 4 now. So 6. All right. I love this card. I love this card. All right. So we got him dead on the untap. Okay. Combo me combo deck. Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be dig. Fuck. I should have held on to the Censor. Okay. The Wilt. Oh, I have Aether Gust? Yeah. And they're off to the races. Oh, we're just dead already. Well, shit.
It's all over, people. We don't have a prayer. Ah!
Yeah, I'm good. I don't need to see more. I can't believe we could have censored their dig through time. And I didn't lean into it. I was like, no, I have to win faster. I will say Jolrael feels pretty unnecessary in this deck. Like, she's not as good as Flourishing Fox. She's kind of like a Valiant Rescuer. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Okay. I think we take out like this. Or maybe, hold on. I think I want that. Don't think I need Uro, because it's like sorcery speed. And then get the Shark Typhoons in here. Is this the best setup for this game? It might be. Yeah, she's not worth it. I think she feels like she's not worth it. What do you mean it's weird that she makes cats? In what way is that weird? Yeah, she's the Empress of Beasts. Why is it weird that she makes cats? But cats are beasts, right? And beasts aren't 2/2. Beasts are 3/3 by like default, quote unquote, or bigger. Sometimes they're 4/4. I mean, sometimes they do like weird stuff where they make actual like cat beast creature type creatures, but hold on, did I want that second untapped land? I think I did. So we'll bottom the this is the only thing that makes white, so we'll bottom this one. Yeah. Okay. Nethroy's a cat beast, I guess. Well, no, there's other cat beasts. Cat beast basically means it's big and like really vicious. Like, the magic definition of beast is, like, just basically it's, like, more savage and large. So you could have dog beasts in the future. You can have wolf beasts. Do you know that bacon just is delicious? I've been made aware. Raveler of time, baby. What we really like in this matchup is, like, Narset, but... Did you know that bacon's delicious? This has been a bacon fact. MTG definition of beast. The sausage of creature types. I don't get it. Oh! Okay then. You got yourself a game, opponent. You got yourself a game. The Leafs scored. Is it that uncommon? No. No. That's not the MTG sausage. Again, I think I was pretty clear when I defined it. It's like, no, they just, when a creature is like big and savage enough, they will refer to it as a beast or a X-beast. So like they can even do something silly like having like a Rhino beast. Okay, they minus their Teferi to draw a card here because they're missing their land drop, and that is huge for us. Huge. Huge. Listen, no one makes sharks like I do. I'm the best shark. It's gonna kill this Teferi. That draw was hot fire. Although we might be in the market of minusing our Teferi to try to draw a card. I think. Because I want to have an untapped land. That's a great draw, so I'll take it. Do I want to go all in right now? Can they win on just Jeskai Ascendancy with no creature in play? They can't, can they? I'll pass. My board's good enough here. My Bant red deck is against their Bant red deck. The Wilt's nice insurance. Yeah, yeah. So is the Aether Gust, for that matter, right? Because I have a Teferi, so they can't play counter magic. Because Teferi's a fair and balanced magic card. It's called Moist Jeskai. Wouldn't it be Overgrown Jeskai or like Tranquil Jeskai? Call it Moist Naya. Moist Naya. No, I mean we have a Teferi. So they played a land, so they can play a Jeskai Ascendancy and then not do anything. So let's make a 1/1 response, draw a card, and see if I die for my hubris somehow. I haven't played against JAC in a while, so I couldn't have countered that anyway. They plus. Right, if they play a Teferi, it'll be annoying, but there's nothing I could do about it, right? My hand could not deal with the Teferi. So. And they can't play Ascendancy into Sylvan Awakening here. So I think we're okay, and we just repeat my play from last turn. Valiant Rescuer against Teferi, as it was meant to be. Oh. Huh. That's a card I forgot about. Yep. I did not think they'd be playing that. Okay. This is much more problematic all of a sudden. I don't want to cycle this Wilt, but I think I have to. This is really crappy. I guess I didn't have to because I was just minus my... Oof. We're getting gummed up over here. That's a good draw. Okay, so a 2/2 Shark plus the Flourishing Fox can kill their Teferi. And they can't play Jeskai Ascendancy and Sylvan Awakening and play another card afterwards yet. They need 6 mana for that. Unfortunately, they have a really easy dig through time. They have a really easy dig through time. Yeah, we're going to do 2 more decks later. Yep. Maybe they don't have it all. They have to dig now if they want to. Shit. Okay. They kind of have it all. I don't even have a cycling card in my hand. Shit. I mean, not that they know that, but... I should have played my second Teferi first and then minused it. I was hoping I would get away with that for whatever reason. Alright, we're just going to die to combo, I'm sure, but... Okay. We can't cast out. I missed too many land drops in the earlier part of the game, so they've got the easiest win of their life here. Yeah. No. I mean, I had already played the land drop. I played the Hinterland Harbor. Mother flipper. Okay. Okay. Well, when I said I wouldn't be surprised if we were going to hit the 05, yeah. I maybe was not wrong. This is the best Jolrael deck that we have in the Pioneer set of decks, but it may not be actually all that good. Which is sad. I like this deck a lot in theory. I'm sure there's a good way to build it, and I'm sure it has some okay matchups here, but we're just getting massacred. I mean, playing against the friggin' Waste Not deck was not... not an okay thing to happen. Alright, I got time for one more before dinner. I don't think the last game was depressing as it looked. We got punished for not killing Teferi. Didn't see the verdict coming. We did not get punished for not killing Teferi. We made every single effort to kill Teferi, and we weren't able to do it. So I wouldn't say we got punished for not killing Teferi so much as we just couldn't. But I'm saying, like, their deck just, like, clearly put out a much stronger game than we did, right? I think we ditched the Hallowed Fountain? Hallowed Fountain? Yeah. We attacked Teferi. They had blockers. No. We attacked Teferi as much as we could every single time. That much I know. I did not ever let the Teferi sit and play. We had a freaking Aether Gust and a Wilt in our hand that we wanted to be able to do stuff with. I don't remember exactly how the game broke down at this point, but I know I put every single possible effort into killing Teferi every time I could. Because it was almost the only thing that mattered. I think there was one turn where I made a choice to, like, cycle something instead of cycle something instead of being able to Shark Typhoon for 2. I cycled something during combat to get an extra cat, or pre-combat to get a cat, or something like that. And then because of that, we weren't able to hassle their Teferi slightly more post-verdict. Because I just was not anticipating them having board wipes against a deck that has 12 creatures in it. 11 creatures? We have 11 creatures? Oh, plus the Uros. Okay. Thoughtseize Fatal Push deck. Well, maybe, depending on what the rest of their game plan is, we're able to outgrind them here. But I definitely want more Uros in this deck for these kind of matchups. Straight black-green? Okay. Huh. Right, but they also had spot removal on one of the earlier turns. They played the 1 red spell that was Spell Mastery deals 3. Could only hit creatures, though. Shit. Yeah, that one. I know that's a card. Oh, sorry, it's called Flying Carpet. Good to know. Flying Man. Oh, we're gonna get there. Maybe. Dude, lots of things put Flying Men to shame. I don't know if Flying Men was ever a good card, so... Maybe it was. Maybe back in the Mark Rosewater playing Rancor, and what's it called? Berserk. Shit. Well, no, it's fine. He already drew me a card. Land. Untap land. Untap land. That'll do. You like card advantage? How you like me now? Oh, it's unstable mutation, of course. Ooh. Arcanus the Omnipotent taps for Ancestral Recall. Flare is 4? It's 2. Yeah, but I can Shock Breeding Pool, play Flourishing Fox, and cast Boon again. Which I'm pretty sure is what I'm going to do. So they could -3 this to kill my guy, but... Whew! That is a lot of lands that I don't mind discarding. But then a Shark Typhoon. This might be the casting Shark Typhoon kind of game. It's a pretty good emblem. That's a lot of clues. Yikes. Grim Flare's hilarious. Okay. No, can't hit anything relevant right now. We can kill the tracker most likely this turn if we want to. No push, no push, no push. Looks like no push. Okay, first, let's go attack Liliana. I'm aware that them attacking doesn't mean that they don't have a push. So if I cycle a Triome, we can still cast Out. Or put Zenith Flare up to 4. That's probably the way I want to play this. Because I think they'll have a main deck way to kill a Shark Typhoon, so I don't think I want to go in on it right now. And the Flare is going to gain me 4 life, killing the tracker. Alright. Oh shoot, the Grim Flare went ultimate. Yikes. Okay. I love you, questing beast. Alright, I get to bite one of your planeswalkers. Where it at? I don't have any. But I get to. Okay. See you, dude. So, what do you got? What do you got? What do you got? Grimflayer is binning some stuff. Nope. So I can cycle enough stuff that the Flourishing Fox will kill the questing beast. Okay. So we'll start with the cheap ones. Shoot. Really hoping I could do better than that. Alright. If I don't make a shark, I just die to the Grimflayer, right? Alright. Oh, but if I make the shark, they just minus on my flare. And alright. Nothing matters. Got it. Got it. Alright. Okay. Okay, so Jund, Aether Gust is good against the green card. Oh, Drakehaven's probably good here. Zenith Flare, probably not. It's like a cool Getcha card, but oh yeah, no Bayonet Sarcophagus. Baffling End might be okay. It's not good against some of their threats. And then Neutralize is just kind of not a great card. Let's get the 4th Shark Typhoon in here, and Teferi's not that good. It's okay, but it doesn't put us up on resources by that much. Or rather, it grabs some tempo, which we don't really need too much. Oh. I'm going to keep this on turn 2, try to cycle to hit a land. But I don't know. I have low to medium hopes for this hand, but I kind of have something that I want to go get to reasonably soon, so we'll see if this works out. Playing against Thoughtseize Fatal Push is consistent field ads. They did not have either on turn 1. This is good. We got a Vraska. Okay. That is expected. Land. Okay. They played nothing? Holy shit. Well, maybe. Well, maybe. So I want to play Jolrael or Valiant Rescuer this turn. I think Jolrael's better. No, Rescuer would have been better because Rescuer's Rescuer's a 3/1. I'm assuming they have some amount of removal spells stuck in their hand right now. So we push. Yeah. And Jolrael makes 2/2s. The Rescuer's only going to make 1/1s. So yeah, I missequenced there. I guess the other option was play double Flourishing Fox. Like I think I'm going to do this turn, but I don't know. Stumbling around on the first couple turns was really bad, and having all tap lands kind of worked in theory, but it just feels like the format's a little bit more aggressive and creature focused than I wanted it to be. I'm just used to playing control decks that just I don't care about any of these early turns. Just let people do whatever they want, and then I wrath. Or occasionally I interact with their like really aggressive creatures out of mono black, but yeah, we knew that was coming. Yeah. I guess this means they're not attacking with Grim Flare? Or they're just happy for my Flourishing Fox to pick off their Vraska. I do have double cycle here, so I can beat the Grim Flare. And then hopefully pick up a land? That'd be good. They're going to get to sack their Oath of Nissa for this. Please, can I draw a land? There we go. Not one that I really wanted, but good enough. Well, we got double Teferi here, so that's kind of nice. Any creature they play won't be able to block. So they should take my Shark Typhoon, I guess. Not sure what they will take, but I think they should take my Shark Typhoon. Yeah, that's a yikes. Well, we'll do what we can. Okay, Temple Garden's a big pickup here because we get to exile their questing beast, but not until they're attacking with it, I think. If they have Assassin's Trophy or something of that nature, we get beat up, but we're getting beat up anyway by the questing beast, so. And they have 5 cards in their graveyard with 5 creature types already. Oh. Jeez. Oh, they have to play a land to flip this. And they already played their land for turn. Right. That's fine. Little bit late. This is gonna flip to mostly just draws cards, but is it worth hitting Liliana for more than 1 here? Or do we just, well, playing Valiant Rescuers is no good. See if I can hit a land so I can play my Drakehead this turn. Nice. Good stuff. Okay. So you're saying there's a chance. Unless they have another questing beast or the ability to get their questing beast out. They get to draw a card, they get a Fabled Passage, sure. So they must already have Soul Guide Lantern, sure. Well, Zenith Flare is not going to be great now. 1 card left in hand, so maybe we take this one. Maybe. Grim Flare, sure. That's good. They didn't activate their Liliana? Okay. That's fine. We're going to attack the Nissa anyway. Jolrael showing up a little tardy to the party. That's okay. Just make another 2/2 at instant speed seems better than anything else I could be doing. Sure. Urborg, sure. They're plussing their Nissa a lot here. They could minus it to get the Grim Flare back. I don't think they should, but they could. They could also crack their Soul Guide Lantern to draw a card, which I'm pretty sure they should do now. Yes, perfect. All right. Apologies. Okay, I got to the end step. I didn't kill any more of my stuff, so let's do this. Oops. So go combat, poke the Liliana, crush the Nizza, leave my Drake back, the one that's too small. Play Jolrael, cycle 1, 2, 3, triggers, pay 1. All right, so this is kind of working. Another Nissa. Okay. Oh, they didn't have another forest. Huh, wild. Let's see if I can find a removal spell. Okay, we'll just kill him next turn. Okay, they conceded. Cool. Got a game win. See if we can get one more. Any changes? Nah, I think we're good. I was really hoping they'd beat me so I could put this 0-4 to rest. Oh, Jiggy, we're on 0-3. Might have to play out the end of this league. Yeah, I'll keep this one. This is about as good as it gets here. No, it's fine. This is a crazy experimental idea. I think I learned some useful stuff. Not sure. I'll certainly find out. When you're in the mad sciences, Jiggy, sometimes you gotta crack a couple of skulls. I think that's how that works, right? I mean, you tried playing Mana Silex, so. Okay. So, instead of playing into their Fatal Push, clearly I should have held up Censor, but what are you going to do? And I can't make my Fox dodge like even a disfigure, which is pretty upsetting. No! No! Oh! God, I hate playing creatures. I hate playing creatures so much. Fuck creatures. This is the part where I cycle like I'm supposed to and get punished even more. Alright. I think I'm just going to call it here. Yeah. Just calling it here out of frustration. This deck, 24 lands, can't hit my third one here, and I can't, I don't know, can't in good conscience continue to torture myself with this one. So, bit of a failure, but I think this is the best Jolrael deck that we proposed on the episode of Faithless Brewing, conceptually. I do think, though, that there are some changes that are worth making here. So maybe we cut Temple Garden. So we cut the shocks. We cut the shocks. Cut the... Is that it? Yeah. No. Yeah. And we get one more Scattered Grove, one more Irrigated Farmland. And then... So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we have everything else being a check land. Which I think most of them should be playing blue and white. So let's go up to the fourth. Oops. We need the fourth Glacial Fortress. And I still have these breeding pools in here. So, hold on. Let's get the fourth Glacial Fortress. 2, 3, 4. And then Sunpetal. The Sunpetal Grove. At least one more Sunpetal Grove. Maybe 2. Yeah, so we've got 12 enter the battlefield tap lands, but they all have land types. So that seems good. And then maybe we just like add another Uro here. And then Zenith Flare was pretty interesting. I'm not sold or unsold on it. Boon of the Wishgiver is interesting, but I think we looked through all the cycling cards and we concluded that this was one of the best things we could be playing. I think the one conclusion that I might have otherwise is that we just like cut Jolrael for like Drakehaven in the main deck. Something like that might be the best. Might be our best course of action. And then Flourishing Fox and Valiant Rescuer function as our good early cards. So this means that our mana base actually could go more blue-white entirely, I think. So I'd have to actually look at the math here, because once we cut Jolrael, we're just like lightly splashing into green and lightly splashing into red. But I think I would want to play something like this again. Anywho, for anyone who's checking this out on YouTube, sorry that I don't have enough time to finish up this league, but I have other things going on right now. But there will be more Pioneer to come. So you can check that out on the Pioneer League playlists, as well as just look up the individual decks with Pioneer. So hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, check it out on Twitch, and I will see you guys real soon. Jiggy, just so you know, we'll be back in about an hour and 40 minutes with some more Pioneer for the night.